Welcome back to the Road to National series. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through an upper holiday workout. So I am in the north of Italy and I do not have access to a gym, and this is how I train and advise you should train as well when you find yourself in the same situation. So the first thing I did here was dips. Now I did these first because they are a compound pressing exercise like I usually try and do in powerlifting, and it is probably the heaviest and most taxing exercise I'm going to do in this workout. But it also brings me on to my first main tip, which is take advantage of your topography. If there is a feature such as these poles that you can do dips on, take advantage of it. If you have a swimming pool, you can also do dips in the corner of the pool. Now you're going to feel lighter because of the buoyancy of your body. The water will aid you and make those dips a little easier, but basically look for things around. And my first day, I just jotted down ideas of exercises I could do. The second exercise here I did is single arm, not really dumbbell rows, single arm umbrella stand rows. Now this umbrella stand was pretty light. It's probably only about 15 to 20 kilos for me, which is much lighter than the dumbbells I would row. However, when things are very light, there is a solution to that, and that is reps. Just do loads of reps. Now this taxed the grip loads as well and actually dug into the hand, so it was a little bit painful, but it was a good alternative. And that brings me on to the next tip, which is use any sort of weights you have access to. I could have tried to use stuff like plant pops, but they were too heavy and it would have been disastrous if I dropped them. But I did manage to get away with this rowing. Now here we have a little friend who will feature throughout the video. She was very lovely and would come for a lot of cuddles slash strokes. I don't know what you call it with a dog. But she was around through this video, and I was also working out with my cousin. So if you see another man, that is who I was training with. Or if you see me talking to space, I'm not hallucinating. I'm not schizophrenic. There was somebody there. I've just tried to edit him out of this video. So this actually provided quite a good back workout, and training your back is going to be the hardest part of not having access to equipment. And that is because pulling movements like lat pull downs go at the opposite direction of gravity. When you do pull-ups, you are pulling your body up, but the direction of the force you're pulling in is down, which when you don't have any equipment is the same direction as gravity. You are going to have to lift against gravity when you don't have any specific gym equipment, and obviously you can't pull in the same direction as gravity, so you can't do something like lat pull downs. If there is a bar, I would have loved to have done pull-ups. And the main thing that I forgot to take was a band. I seriously suggest you get bands. They're very easy, and what I would have done for back training is wrap it around those railings in the background and have done seated rows. So definitely invest in a band. You can get one, you can get a set for like 10 quid, and they are going to be very useful. And if you have like a pull-up bar, you can do assisted pull-ups with them. You could do assisted dips with them like I did earlier to make it easier. Bands are basically amazing, and I was just a massive clot and forgot to take mine. So the next exercise I did here was press-ups. Again, this highlights how much easier it is to do pushing work than back work, than pulling work, because you can do body weight pushing exercises. So I started with dips, and here I decided to do more of an isolated chest exercise and do a sort of superset, drop set style press up workout where I'd start flat, and then once I couldn't do any more, I'd do incline and try and focus on the stretch on the chest. Now between these and the dips, the chest was absolutely wrecked in the following week. It had such horrific DOMs, it was unbelievable. And as I go here for my second set, again our little friend just wants a bit of attention, and it was a bit of a struggle to try and get her to move away. Anyway, nice little energy that brightened up the workout. So the press-ups are very useful. For me, they are going to be the staple of any sort of workout that you do when you don't have access to a gym, any upper workout in particular. And that's also why I advise you train upper as a whole, because there aren't going to be a lot of pull movements that you can do and back movements. I already train upper as a whole anyway, as you'll see through the series. But if you normally do like a push-pull legs, I would combine your upper workouts on holiday because of your limited access to exercise variations, and basically the fact that you're not going to have a lot of variations that you can do for the back. Now here, I did probably push way too hard for a deload week workout. All of this workout is supposed to be part of my deload week, but it was something new, it was something interesting, and I just love to push to failure. So I did end up having like crippling DOMs in the chest, and next video I will show you and talk you through the leg workout, and that resulted in even worse DOMs. That was horrific, doing really high rep leg workouts. So the next exercise here though was bicep curls, again taking advantage of this little umbrella stand. There is actually quite a lot of exercises you can do, and even though it's light, again, lots of reps is the solution for something that's light. And for me, when I'm powerlifting and doing my accessories, I'm often doing accessories for sort of 6 to maybe 15 to 20 reps. In this workout, I was doing a lot of 30-40 rep sets, and that was taxing as well my work capacity. So it's just working on something slightly different, which is nice during my deload. But like I said, I got horrific DOMs, probably because I do have a poor work capacity, and my muscles are not physically prepared to do that much time under tension in each set, and to do that many total reps. So this was actually more of a taxing workout than I planned on it being. I did only do one of these upper workouts while I was away. I did 2 deload workouts, an upper and a lower in the gym before I left, and then I do a deload upper and lower workout here whilst I'm on holiday, and then one last sort of full body one when I was in the gym. It sort of was a 2-week deload span because of when this holiday took place. It was Wednesday to Wednesday, and that is why I haven't posted in a while, since just before I left. And I am actually back now in the UK. I didn't have access to good Wi-Fi, so I couldn't have posted whilst I was in Italy, but I managed to get this footage. So the next exercise here, I wanted some sort of a tricep isolation exercise. Again, push exercises are way easier to do, and this is basically a substitute for the JM press. So instead of doing like a normal press up, I pushed my hands. The base of my hands are basically level with my eyes. It doesn't quite look like it from this angle. It doesn't show you how much higher my hands are than with a regular press up, but they are level with like my eyes and nose, the middle of my head, and this style of press up was a lot like a JM press. So it felt really good, and it hit the triceps very well, particularly around the elbow joint. Now, with my massive bicep pump I just achieved on those curls, I was able to sort of rest in that bottom position, my biceps on my forearms, but as you can see there, I was very tired after it and still very much taxed by that set. So the final exercise here I decided to do was plank, because I don't often do plank, and obviously it is an ab exercise that I can do without access to any equipment. Normally I do like sit-ups on my GHD, and I do things like cable crunches, heavy cable crunches. I think they're more relevant to powerlifting, training your abs heavy, more similar to any other accessory, but obviously here I didn't have access to that equipment, and a plank was a great new alternative to do. New to me. Obviously the plank is not an original exercise, but I haven't done it in literally years and years. When I was younger, I used to do like 5-minute planks, and I struggled here to even get like just over 1 minute, which is a bit pathetic. Also, when you're doing this, you'll see I'm trying to keep my spine like neutral and my back tucked. There I sort of reset it and tuck it even more. That taxes the abs more, but it also means that you're not like sinking in your lower back. Often people do that to take tension off the abs because it is taxing on the abs. You just sink and put all the pressure in your lower back, but there I kept correcting again to try and make sure that I was doing it properly. Anyway, only did 1 set of that as well, because I hate training abs, as you can see here. I was very tired from it, and it is, after all, my holiday, so I didn't want to do another set. Anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it like, drop a comment, subscribe, click the bell, all of that good stuff, and have a great day.